This podcast is rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Some material may not be suitable for children.
Mission 250.
Welcome to the Mission 250 Filmcast, where we are watching a shit ton of movies. I'm one of your hosts, Denny, and these other guys are
John
and TC.
What of you? What are we doing this podcast? Fight for it. Go. Who's more excited to know? TC.
I was going to see how long it would go. I was like, I bet you John will play.
going to say a thing.
John will play along.
That wasn't that bad.
Starting to take your role of ringmaster a little too literally there, I think. Yeah.
So what do we do, John? What do we do?
Yes.
What do we do here? We take a list. We check it twice, and then we watch movies.
Only once.
We check it twice because we forget what we're going to watch next week, every week. At least I do. Anyways, we froze the Mission 250 list in time. Got a few years ago now. I'll never know how many years ago it was. And then we basically watch a movie a week. I usually bicker about the IMDb users. Denny brings in trivia. Trivia. And then John really, is tired. He's just worn out.
Or sick.
So we're sick or using the wrong mic. So basically we just watch a movie. That's really all we do.
Yeah. And this week, we are watching The Elephant Man, which is 1980. It's number 142 on the top 250. Mm-hmm. The synopsis is, Victorian surgeon rescues a heavily disfigured man who is mistreated while scraping a living as a sideshow freak. Behind his monstrous facade, there is revealed a person of intelligence and sensitivity. This movie was written, directed, and music and mixing by David Lynch. Good job, David Lynch.
Not all by himself, but he didn't write it all by himself, right?
No, but he touched it. He touched the script there. Yeah.
Oh, he touched the script.
Did
he
some
touched
writing.
It. Yeah.
I know which parts.
Yeah. The beginning and the end.
The creepy one.
And it's my turn to go first to review this movie.
Good. I'll go get a beer while you start.
Yes.
Go there.
The beginning and the end seemed like the beginning and the end of another movie we watched called Persona, which I hated.
Yeah, fair enough.
They were completely disconnected, and they were the coolest parts if you like weird, artsy horror crap, which I guess I do more than slow, pointless drama crap. Uh-oh.
Denny going negative.
I'm going negative.
Oh, he's going negative, folks.
Yeah. I could barely watch it. Like, number one, this movie really grossed me out. It put me off food for like the rest of the day. Just listening to him like suck spit through his mouth, and I couldn't.
Was it really that bad?
You didn't think it was that bad?
Me.
Initially it was bad. I mean, they sort of like faded a lot of that stuff out as he talked more. I mean, but
yeah, I think I got over it after a while.
Yeah. And so you're saying, TC, that you and I were able to look beyond his physical disfigurement and appreciate the man.
He is a human.
Right.
Yeah.
Denny, maybe you could learn
Maybe you're
something.
just a prick, Denny.
Yeah.
You were a bully in school.
Well, everyone says
kiss the woman. That was such a weird part. But anyways, go on.
That part was fucking strange and did not, I don't know. There's a lot of parts in this movie. What is this? I want to ask you guys a question when it's, right now, I guess. What is this movie about?
Ugly people?
But like, not just ugly people.
I have no idea. No, it's about a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately this idea of how we respond to somebody's physical appearance and bearing and how that impacts how we think about them and sort of how on one hand we might be fascinated by it or use it for our own gain or be afraid of it or all of the above and how at the same time there's something underneath just besides the way a person looks. So it's kind of simple in a way, but it's also based on the real life story of like Joseph Merrick. So that's
and we're going to get into how false this movie portrays those real happenings.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's a statement on how like adults are just like kids too. Like you don't go out of that. Like you're just always weirded out by stupid shit.
Yeah. Maybe you hide it more or something, but really you're not too much different than some of those people aren't necessarily different than the ones spitballing the guy because he looks funny.
Yeah, I mean, and they were full grown adults.
Yeah.
I get out of this movie
how did that go, Denny? Did we answer your question?
I guess so. And I didn't think this movie was about that. I mean, the themes were there just because of the character they were portraying. You can kind of think that.
Sure.
Even if they showed an image of the person that said, that's the Elephant Man, then you could just be like, he probably got tortured. Like, you could assume a lot of things. The movie doesn't really dive too deep into any of that shit. They're kind of like the movie itself is kind of about Frederick Treves and his relationship with the guy, right? The doctor.
Yeah, sure. Right.
And
the doctor, too.
Yeah. And I thought that relationship was crap. Like, it didn't seem realistic at all to me.
Oh, you criticizing Sir Anthony Hopkins' acting ability, are you?
I absolutely am.
I thought his name was Jeeves for like half the movie. I was like, oh, Jeeves. I kept saying it in my bed, and then I was like, oh, it's Treves. Okay.
It looks like the butler went to doctor school and became a doctor.
Okay, Jeeves. I'll be right there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I understand what you're saying about the relationship with the doctor, though, Denny. I'm in alignment there.
It seemed, I don't know, I've been trying to think of like the right word for it, but it seemed like, I mean, it's based on the memoirs by this guy, Frederick Treves, who was he's the guy who showed the Elephant Man to some doctors, and that's about it. He doesn't help him out as much as it portrays in this movie. They didn't become like really good friends. I'm not sure he knew his actual first name. Because in his name is
Elephant Man?
No, Mr. Elephant Man.
Mr. EM.
Yeah. I mean, his name is Joseph Merrick, and in the movie they call him John Merrick, and in his memoirs he calls him John Merrick, and he never went by John.
Travis always called him John. I don't know why, but yeah.
So I don't know. I just whatever. I guess. Come on, John, hop on my bandwagon. This movie's fake. It doesn't portray real events. Can't you get mad with me? Come on, John.
Isn't that like most movies that are going against events?
Certainly. So there was a lot that was inserted in there for drama's sake. That could have been more interesting. Although I did think like the handler or the guy who claimed to own the Elephant Man was played really well. Like, really? I don't know how you shake like that. I mean, I thought he did a great job.
That was weird. He had a shakedown there.
Yeah, he had like an alcoholic trimmer I thought that looked good.
Maybe he was just an alcoholic. It crossed my mind because he had the bloat. He had he just kind of, like he might just be an alcoholic. I was thinking that because he did do it very well.
I thought he did very well, yeah. So,
although there is that actor that is more modern now that does that with his eyes, right? Can like shake his eyes back and forth. He's in a lot of creepy movies just for that fact.
Just for you do the eye shake, man. Do that. I'm
just
not
do
a
the eye shake,
freak, man.
No, okay, fine. Do the whole body shake then. Just be an alcoholic. All right, I got it. Done.
I wonder what muscle you flex in your body to make your eyes vibrate back and forth.
Yeah,
I think it must just be some natural weird thing that only that guy has. I don't think it's possible.
I know that like the Doctor Treves tried to make him look like he was an evil person in his memoirs, but he had another side of it. And by the historical accounts, Joseph Merrick volunteered. Like he actually got in touch with people to go into the sideshow business. He was like, he volunteered because he was having a hard time making a living otherwise for obvious reasons. So he actually sought them out. And I mean, there was one case where he was robbed by the person who was managing him, but in most other cases, it sounded like it wasn't a bad relationship.
Yeah. No, he was generally liked by everybody, all like his entire life.
Yeah, exactly. So once that was like, certainly that was put in for dramatic effect. The whole Night Watchman thing was all put in just to make you feel bad, just to show him being mistreated. I mean, that had no basis.
Those women were being mistreated, for fuck's sake. Jesus.
Yeah, that was weird.
Who hangs out? There's like old, drunk, fat guys with like young girls cackling. What kind of weird scenario is this?
They're whores, right? They were, I mean, they were getting paid to be there. So they were trying, I guess.
Wait, they were getting paid to be there?
Yeah, those two girls were whores.
Oh, whores. I thought you said horrors for some reason. I was like, what's a horror?
Whores.
Whore.
They were prostitutes.
Yeah.
A whore.
John just came right out with the bad word, too. He didn't even say price. The whore.
That's what they're listed in the credits as whore number 1, whore number 2, I believe.
Wow.
Nice.
Jesus.
Don't put that on your resume.
Yeah. I was the whore in that movie. Oh, you now? Which kind of movie?
First whore and second whore. That's what they were listed as.
That's brutal.
What'd you make out of the ending to jump to the end?
It was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really agree with your persona analogy. I feel like it's it's very strange in a more modern movie. This is from the 80s to see something that looks so old fashioned and like it's trying to be so artsy. And I don't like it one bit. I didn't like the beginning at all. I thought like the way they were portraying it's like, what, is she getting raped by elephants? Because I don't know what's going on.
Dude, Roger Ebert wrote the same thing on his review.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he's
All
like,
right,
she's getting trampled or raped. I can't tell.
I can't tell. Oh, wow. It was such a weird opener. I mean, it was like, I was like, David Lynch.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all I said. It was like, he started early.
I don't get it. I mean, I don't think it adds anything to the film. It's just more stuff there that I didn't like. I guess if you're bored like you were, Denny, it's sort of at least interesting.
No, because it put me on the wrong path. Like, it excited me. It's like, whoa, this is going to be fucking weird. And then for the next 2 hours, it's like people walking around slowly and talking slowly without moving in rooms.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's so much dead air in this movie, just like pausing, waiting for him to start talking.
There's a little bit of dead air.
Dead air, or not dead air, but very disfigured air, as it were.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to get... All right, it's been a while. We can make fun of this guy, right?
I mean, it's safe.
Clearly grossly disfigured. There's no around it. But he also was an amazing man in real life. I mean, it's amazing that he kept trying to make something of himself and figure out a way to make things work for himself, despite this horrible disease that he had. And that to me is it's truly impressive. And I do wish the film could have tried to more realistically focus on all those aspects of it, like how much strength he had to be where he was and do what he did. I mean, it was, certainly there were these parts where like the society, he started to become rather famous and people would visit him and he liked it. And apparently he did build really good models. Like there's an exhibit of one of his models and it looks really nice. You can look at on the Wikipedia for Joseph Merrick. It shows a picture of one of the models that he built, and he was really good. I don't know. The strength that he has to overcome the physical disability he has is amazing. But he is horrid looking. He was terrifying looking. I mean, you can look at pictures again.
I just did, and I got to say, they poor bastard.
Yeah. So it's
like a big wart.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, there's down further on the Wikipedia page, there's pictures of his whole body, and the movie does not. The movie doesn't replicate exactly what he looked like, but it doesn't exaggerate how bad it was either.
No, I mean, it's close, though. They did a pretty good job of the face.
Yeah, it's pretty damn close. But I mean, John, I agree with everything you just said, but you weren't talking about the movie. You were talking about the guy and how good of a guy he is. I'm talking about
Merrick. I know. The movie, I thought the movie was still, I mean, would you like to bash more, or should I kind of go?
No, you can go ahead, yeah.
I mean, I thought the movie was, I meant that in a nice way, by the way. I didn't mean to sound bitchy.
Good, thanks for clarifying. Thank you.
You did sound a little bitchy.
I'm sorry. Trying to work on
I just like the fact that you called yourself bitchy.
Yeah.
That's funny.
This is the 1 hour of the week he gets to swear. He's got to, go all out.
That's true. At this age, kids, they're impressionable.
Wait, is bitchy bad to say now? Is that like only, does that connotate
No, it's just not
or?
something that,
Bitchy's definitely sexist, John.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're
what I'm saying it as it's sexist because I'm the one bringing it up that, anyway.
How about, sounding, what was I saying? What's a neutral way of saying, anyway.
Annoyed,
grouchy,
abrasive,
whatever.
Grouchy, yeah, we'll go grouchy.
I go grouchy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so are you done? Huh? Do you want to
gripe some more? Kid? Huh? Are you done?
I'll save some for later, huh? For dessert. How about that?
Don't you worry. I have a lot of hate in my life.
Yeah, I'll bring it up later.
Don't you worry. I'll bring it right back.
Yeah. Some of the scenes were touching. I thought like when he meets the doctor's wife and she's kind to him and she's sort of overcome with emotion by how he's like just touched that she's being nice to him. I like that scene.
Only because she's hot.
Well, he's complimenting her as well, I guess. I don't know. But he hasn't been talked by to women hardly at all up to that point, I don't think either. And to be in their home and everything. But you're right. Fair enough. Maybe he's shallow. Elephant Man, shallow.
I mean, wouldn't you be after everyone's treating you that way?
Yeah.
And his dick works, so hey, come on now.
Does it?
They said it looked the same, so at least
figured it was a big blob.
He was fully functional, apparently, down there. I don't know why. But I thought that was interesting. Some of the struggle that Anthony Hopkins' character had was sort of interesting about how he was using the Elephant Man to get ahead in some ways and how he struggled with that a little bit.
Can I just knock you down as you make these points one at a time?
No, it's fine. I'm not saying that this was the best thing ever, but I also really like the idea of the man and the history and this idea of these relationships and what they might have really been like. And so just the idea of it is great, and I enjoyed sort of those aspects of it. I could probably pick it apart, which you're probably about to do that. But I do like these. Yeah, you're going to do it more specifically based on what I'm saying. I mean, I still enjoyed those parts of the movies, and I mean, I don't know if it's not necessarily the best thing ever. And again, I don't think certainly the bookends of the movie were just to me really bad.
But it teaches you a lesson, John. Nothing ever dies? Question mark. Why?
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 Why? What are we talking about? I don't even know what.
I was like, wait a minute, we're flying through space now. Oh God, we're flying through space.
What the hell are you talking? The immortality of the Elephant Man himself, I guess.
He will come back and haunt us. Elephant Man 2, The Awakening.
And there was something sort of again, kind of snobbish about it at the very end. I don't know if you saw it after the credits where it's like, this is based on the actual life of the Elephant Man, not the Broadway play. To me, it sounded like they were being grumpy about that. Like they were saying that we're actually more true to life here than that silly Broadway play. I don't know. But anyway.
They should say that and be right about it because they're wrong. TC, what did you think of the movie?
I mean, it was okay.
Really?
It wasn't bad, yeah. I mean, I could see Mr. Lynch there exercising his brain, getting towards what we know later, you know? I could see some of it.
Are you a big Lynch fan?
I mean...
Twin Peaks?
Yeah, Twin Peaks.
Mostly that, not the movies?
Do you guys like Twin Peaks? I've never
I liked Twin Peaks, yeah, it was good. I liked, what's his name? The main character there. I can't remember.
Was there a lot of this? Was a lot of weird crap like that in Twin Peaks too, or was it not so weird?
Way weirder.
Really?
Way weirder.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Really strange.
With lots of bizarre imagery and all kinds of that stuff too in Twin Peaks?
For sure.
I mean, I saw Firewalk with Me and not having seen Twin Peaks and was completely confused.
I mean, some of it is confusing there, but
I think the first shot of the movie, where he pans around the shot of his mother's face is pretty much the beginning of Twin Peaks, right? Where it's just a picture of the girl.
Yeah, kind of.
Laura herself.
Yeah. Yeah, Kyle MacLachlan is great.
Yeah, he's pretty funny.
But anyways, I wasn't blown away or anything, but I at least got through it. It's black and white. I didn't sit there and hate it.
Black and white, but from 1980, so
yeah. I mean, but set in an old time. I've always been weirded out by the freak show thing, that people actually went to them and made them and
were allowed to,
or were allowed to, right? So that was kind of interesting, just in itself. I mean, I'm with you, Denny. The guy's weird looking, creepy, hard to listen to. But I mean, I think I took it okay because it was just that's the movie. Without that, there's nothing.
I shouldn't have started with that. It makes me sound like I don't like it because I don't like disfigured people.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Well, now we were just gonna rub it in.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
if
I fucked up the order.
I mean, at least you're willing to own up to it. It's kind of impressive. Maybe now you can change your sick self. But
Johnny boy, doubling down.
I'm not taking it away. I'm a sick boy. His slurping sounds really made me nauseous. That's all.
I mean, that part where they were, forcing the women to kiss him, and I had my jaw open. So I mean, I was after I finished, I was just like, wow, that was something.
I was laughing during that part.
I was just like, holy shit, this is fucked up.
Just unnecessary. I don't know, Dave. It didn't need to be there. All that stuff, all that side plot didn't need to be there.
It didn't seem real at all. Any of that.
No. That the Night Watchman would get away with it in the first place, right?
And then there was a part in the middle too. He's like, shh, quiet. And then they pour booze on him and they start screaming again. They're like, how is nobody hearing this? They're in a hospital.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed a little. That's true. That did seem a little unlikely.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I didn't hate it, didn't like it. I do like David Lynch, so what the hell? I guess maybe I was willing to go more than usual. But I don't have anything to say that, the movie wasn't extremely, well shot, or there wasn't, I don't know. Did you think the sets were that cool? I mean, some of it just it just seemed like normal.
It seemed like a stage play almost.
I didn't notice. Yeah, exactly. I didn't notice anything more about the scenery or stuff. I hated the way they did the theater parts because he did imagery stuff over that. I would rather just watch what they were doing instead of all this.
But it wasn't that good, probably, right?
And probably maybe not. So let's just do strobe lights and epileptic inducing switching back and forth between his face and whatever's going on in the play.
What about that the last shot where the slow-mo fairy lady is just going to the left for 30 seconds?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was a weird ending. I have to
But
agree,
right, maybe you're right, Denny.
They ran out of
didn't
footage,
have-
and they're like,
they
slow
didn't have
mo.
good stuff to work with. Yeah, slow mo, strobe light, cut,
Yeah.
whatever. Anyway, yeah, that was
It was funny to see like a bunch of like adults dressed in bear costumes with like a shitty set and a bunch of fancy ass people in the crowd with suits and stuff on. Like, wait, you're going to see a children's
everybody
play?
wearing gloves. Everybody wearing gloves.
Oh, maybe that was a style back then.
Yeah. Well, it was a specific kind of play.
A children's play?
No, what was it?
A shitty play?
I will get back to you.
Okay.
A shitty play.
Yeah, it was the Christmas pantomime he got to go see. So it was it's a musical comedy stage production designed for family entertainment.
Did you see any kids in the shots?
No,
Not really.
No.
they were all like well-dressed adults and stuff. So maybe what he got to see was the more like a matinee in real life, but they didn't put it on that way in the movie. They made it look like it was all highbrow.
Oh, you think they shot like
Eyebrow.
the on stage separate from the shots of the audience?
No, because it's not like it was a real play that was going on. They just put it all, they put it together the way they did in the film. I'm just saying in real life, it might have been an actual, like it was more of like a family friendly kind of matinee sort of thing.
Nah, I think they filmed it at a play. That's what I think. David Lynch
really?
put on a play.
Really?
No, I'm kidding. So, John, it sounds like you looked up some of the stuff in the movie.
More about his life, more about Joseph's life. I didn't really look up anything on the movie itself.
Did you see that?
So that's how good the movie is.
Yeah. I mean, it is. I kind of appreciate the movie because it made me look into his life. Everyone's kind of aware that this guy existed, but I read up.
I didn't look
and
anything up.
It's pretty interesting, dude. If they had actually like gone from the beginning of his life through his death, it would have been much better than whatever the hell this movie was, which was like a love letter from Treves, pretty much, to this elephant guy.
Yeah, I agree, Denny. That's what I kind of thought too. That I think that's the most interesting thing about this film is, and just what I would really like to know more of. But maybe it'd be better then to just watch a documentary, or there are several books about him already.
Oh, really?
But I still think it would have been better. It wasn't the focus on it. I think what. Maybe Lynch. Well, Lynch wanted. I don't know what he wanted, but the movie seems to focus much more on his mistreatment
Because he's ugly, right? Or because he's
Right.
misshapen. But like his life was full of hardship beyond that, pretty much.
Oh, I know. But also like it's just the movie invents ways for this character to be mistreated that didn't actually happen.
Right.
In real
It
life.
doesn't need to because it doesn't include the ones where he was actually, had shitty luck.
Right. So I don't know. I mean, he was like working in like a workhouse, which is like a place where poor people go to be like factory laborers, and he just did everything he could.
Before that, he worked rolling cigars when he was 13 years old, and he had to stop because his right hand got too fucked up to do it.
Right. Like this
man.
guy was like, he tried hard, man. That's was amazing about him.
I didn't get that in the movie that he was trying. I just thought,
No.
because I mean, he seemed like he had given up in the beginning, right? Because like he wasn't talking, he was just like getting beaten by this guy. You're like, well, he gives up on life, I guess.
Yeah, that was how the doctor. Yeah, I mean, it was more from at that point. Like the doctor described him as cowed, and that no one he was when he saw him, he was very quiet and couldn't get him to speak much. At least from the doctor's memoirs as well. But yeah, I don't know.
There's a lot of things where he was hard to understand, so I'm not sure if they made him
Yeah.
easier. Like the scene where he ended up going to the hospital wasn't because he got beat up. It was because he was left. He went on tour somewhere in Europe, and his manager was new, and he like stole the Elephant Man's money, abandoned him, and the Elephant Man couldn't talk to anybody. He couldn't get anyone to understand him to help him out, and the only thing he had on him was the card for Doctor Treves.
Eventually, he still managed to get like back, make it pretty close there, and then he like couldn't get on a train even because of the way he looked and the way he talked.
And if people, I don't know, I just don't like the way it portrayed some of the characters. And interrupt me if I'm going to talk too much, but like even the wife character of Treves' character, it's kind of, her character is like, how good is this character? Like that's all her character is like, oh, look at her. She's so accepting. Isn't she cool? She doesn't add anything to the movie.
Fair enough. I thought she still did a good job of like, I thought she did a great job of like being horrified, trying to keep it contained. And then very quickly, like feeling sympathy for him. I don't know. I can see your point. I mean, that's what she was there for. That was her function.
Yeah.
Right.
Was to be like, oh, look at how nice the wife of this Treves guy is. And by the way, Treves wrote this story, so that's good.
Well,
I'm looking through it, dude. I can see Mr. Treves in his, probably in his coffin. But
when he introduced him to the group, he certainly wasn't nice about it.
Look at his dick, guys. It's regular. Isn't that weird?
Look at him. That's the elephant man.
They show, again, like I said, they showed a little of him struggling with that in terms of he knows that he felt like he was using Joseph or John, as Treves called him, for whatever reason.
But it's not like he was using it to get his own fame. He was a doctor, and he wanted to figure out what was wrong to possibly heal him.
No, he was
looking for his next big case.
He was also using it to get his own fame. I mean, that was also part of the thing.
Well,
otherwise, he wouldn't want to keep it hype. Yeah. He wouldn't want to keep it secret up until his reveal.
So yeah,
that's true.
So
that is true.
But yeah, Joseph tried hard. Like, he tried to do all kinds of things. I mean, him and his mom got along supposedly well until his mom died.
Talking about the real guy now.
Yeah, the real Joseph.
Real guy.
So it wasn't like he never knew his mom, but he didn't talk to the doctor much about his mom in real life either.
His mom like a normal looking person?
Yeah.
Normal looking people?
And they did, she was apparently, the story that she was scared by elephants. And there was this idea called maternal impression. That was actually common at the time. That was not unpopular. There's this idea that you can have an experience if you're pregnant, and that can physically alter your child. So it wasn't an uncommon belief at the time there were people that would be like, oh yeah, you got scared by elephants, so your kid looks like an elephant. That makes sense. That's not
ridiculous.
People didn't know stuff about, they didn't know stuff about development and things like that.
Case in point, the guy was burning the other guy at the beginning with that hot rod.
What the hell was going on there?
I'm like, that's what they do to. What the fuck? What do they do? They're cauterizing it, but do they do that to skin usually? I thought they did that to arteries and shit.
Before they had good medical glue.
Yeah, I didn't think they just burned the skin. But I don't know. I guess maybe I don't know anything about medicine, so
yeah,
just seemed ridiculous to me.
Yeah. So his mom lived until he was maybe 11 or 12. So he had a good. He got to her mom was a Sunday school teacher. And they got to know each other. Apparently, she was really good to him.
The dad was a real asshole, though, huh?
Asshole. Dad then moved on to a stepwife or a stepmother that wasn't very good to him, and then that's sort of where he had to go and look for work and had a rough time. And he tried a lot of things too, the cigar stuff, and then he was in the factory. He was got this license to work at a haberdashery, which is I learned that's they would sell sewing equipment, cloth and needles and stuff like that. And he got a license to go sell door to door, which was not successful.
Oh, hello. Oh, oh fuck. He's got needles.
I just can't imagine. I can't imagine a worse occupation for somebody with a physical.
Who told him that was going to be a good idea?
Who gave him the license?
Then to go door to door and
some asshole is sitting there
dude, they're behind the building in the corner watching it happen.
Yeah. Being oh, look, wait, all right, we're going to give it to him. All right, we're going to give it to him. That's fucked up.
Yeah. So anyway, but
this is before he was famous too, right? So this is imagine regular life right now, and someone knocks at your door, and this guy is there. I would also shit my pants if I did not know this guy.
Oh yeah,
was
of course.
The guy.
So that was well before. That was before he gave up and then tried to go into the freak show life. Yeah, because that was he didn't feel like he had any other choice. So at least there was something for him to do.
Yeah. Should I feel like a bad person for knowing that? Because I feel like that would be most people's initial reaction, right?
Knowing what?
Just knowing that I would freak out and probably try to run if I saw this person initially, until someone was like, oh, wait, he's just a normal person. He looks so much not like a person. I'd be like, what the fuck is that? And then I'd run.
I think I'd be like, especially if it wasn't Halloween, I'd just be like, oh man, so what's up with the costume? I'd be so dumb. I'd be so dumb and oblivious, and I wouldn't pick it up that that's a normal person.
Right. Well, that's the point, though. That's part of. People will have
But I wouldn't be mean.
No, I would
ever.
I wouldn't do anything. I would just go the other direction, probably.
Be
I would try to not react because I know that's probably something that happens all the time, and that I would just basically try not to notice it. Basically, if I could.
Right.
But then everybody that walks by him is just beat red in the face and eyes staring wide open straight ahead, not at them. But everyone's trying to avoid it.
What are your options?
I don't know, dude. Yeah, I don't know.
Just buy the needles and move on. Just get them out of here. Buy the fucking needles. Maybe that's what they thought. They're like, look, they're going to want to buy so much shit to get you out of there that it's going to be perfect.
Look, what do you want from me? Here, I'll buy
I'll buy the whole lot. I don't care. Just walk away. Here's $100. Yeah.
But it's going to make you uncomfortable. And then it also, just to see something like that something like that can happen to a person is also, it's not just that it's physically upsetting to look at, but it's such an example of how cruel and awful life could be, just staring you right in the face. So I think that it also has like I don't know, maybe this is too weird to think about, but just like, it's not just that somebody looks ugly like that, but it's like then makes you just realize how horrible life can be for some people. And that's also a really terrible thing to contemplate. But I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe
I didn't get that from the movie. Did you, or just the thought? Like, did the movie?
I think
give
the
you
movie
that?
sparks the thought.
Yeah,
but that's did for me.
I think it's part of the reaction. It's kind of, but there's also just an instinctual thing, maybe even that it's like there's something really terribly wrong with that person, and it might be contagious for all we know. So let's just get away. You know, it's just like, that's not good. We should get out of here. It's just like almost a flight reaction.
We wouldn't want to
like,
catch that.
Whatever happened to that guy, we don't want to, just in case it's going around, or we're just gonna move away. Thank you.
All right, kids. Now you don't have to be mean, but stay at least 30 feet away from this man.
Right. So I think that there arguably is some instinctual response to that sort of thing. But I don't know.
Definitely.
Again,
unless you like work with disfigured people that are that badly disfigured, then you're going to be shocked by it if you just see it normally.
Isn't that Tree Man? Tree Man is like that, right?
Oh yeah, Tree Man. That's
Is
pretty
it a Tree
freaking
Man?
weird. Have you seen that, John?
no.
The guy has tree bark for skin.
Yeah. It's like the
Wow.
same thing.
Is he just called
Seems
Tree
the
Man?
same. I don't know. I call him Tree Man.
Yeah, this guy. I feel bad for this guy. This guy's got like the weirdest fucking disease of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Is he the
Tree
apple
man.
tree man? No, that's the spirit of the apple tree.
Tree Man, unusual
One
growth.
word.
Returns after 24 surgeries. He's fucked.
Oh wow! Holy cow! I'm looking at his hands. Is it the guy who's showing? I just got a picture of
Oh,
the
it's starting to
hands.
come back. Like, how shitty would that be?
Yeah,
Like, you had hands and you're about to lose them.
and he looks normal in the face and everywhere else.
Wow.
But your hands, man.
It's
you
like
can't,
coral.
Oh, it's on
I
his
don't
feet,
know.
too. It'd be so uncomfortable on top of just being gross to look at. Like, that hurts. It's got to, right?
You'd think so, right? I don't know.
Yeah. It's like this shit growing and out of your fucking
Their
fuck
nerve
you.
endings in it?
Fuck you. That's all I got to say.
No thanks. Thank you
End
very
it.
much.
Just end me.
Yeah.
That's it. Just fucking do it.
Wow.
It won't hurt. I promise. Just right across the
that's
fucking
amazing.
neck.
Yeah.
Getting dark, getting real
But
dark.
the idea that people
Hey, it's
can
this
like,
fucking movie, man. Whatever.
Yeah, I know.
What has it done?
The idea that we can still overcome our fears or distaste is also very inspiring. And I think, again, there's some of that in this movie, which I find really moving. And I think it's a very touching story to where, I think some parts of this movie I thought were well done. I thought Hurt did a great job playing the character as playing Merrick himself. I think that was a pretty challenging thing to do. And I thought he did a good job.
Too much. I thought it was too much.
Yeah.
Oh, it was wonderful.
Oh, John Hurt and Anthony Hopkins, bunch of hacks.
Yes. Just because they've done good movies doesn't mean all the movies they've done have been good. Have you seen Heavy Rain?
That's true.
Or Hard Rain? It's got freaking Morgan Freeman in it. That movie was bad.
Yeah. Oh, really? No,
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen it.
It's about a town that floods and everyone gets jet skis and starts shooting each other up.
I mean,
In
sounds good to
libraries
me.
and restaurants, everywhere.
Sounds like fun.
Oh, yeah. Sounds good.
Why are
classic.
you watching these like popcorn action flicks lately and bringing them up any chance you get?
It's because I get a little overloaded with this fucking dark,
this.
slow, self-important, overacted bullshit we have to watch sometimes.
So you just want to go for some Michael Bay shit?
Yeah, dude, it's
basically,
fun.
then,
It's
yeah.
stupid. It knows it's
Yeah.
stupid, and
Yeah.
it keeps me entertained.
You should do it. You've been watching the Transformer films, then, right? Because there you
No,
go.
I could. Yeah, those
Oh.
are too much for me. I don't know.
Oh, you should give it a try. Maybe that would shock your system.
Oh, I
out
have.
of
I've
this.
seen
Yeah.
2 of them, and they sucked.
Okay.
To me, people like them though. 13-year-olds.
Oh yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Individual parts of the movie. What was with the part where one of the, I forget who it was, somebody like walks through the hospital and there's like a fist fight going on by the front desk and like 100 people are involved in it and the guy uses it as a way to sneak into the hospital?
Oh, because the Yeah, there's like some fight between two ladies.
Yeah, what the hell was that? That was very confusing.
It was the diversion so that he could sneak in. That was the whole point.
That was the role I played.
Humor me,
John,
motherfuckers.
I love John's like, just, what are you talking about, Denny? It's painfully obvious. It was a fish thing that was supposed to happen, and that's just the way it is.
You figured a way to write off
Accept it.
any terrible thing in a movie just by saying that's what they needed to do that other thing. That's fine.
Well,
Move
Denny,
on.
you see how movies work is there's a situation that brings another situation, and that's just what it is.
That's how the movie works.
Yeah. Usually they flow nicer than that. What would you say?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. No, I like it when it does.
Why do you think he cried when he saw the Elephant Man? I couldn't figure that out.
Who cried?
Anthony Hopkins.
Doc?
Dr.
When he cried
Treves.
when
Because he
saw
found his
the
latest
Elephant
case.
Man.
And he's like, damn it, Mr.
Tears of
Treves, you're a
joy.
genius.
Tears of joy.
So when he initially saw him, he initially went.
Yeah, he
the
like
very
snuck in
first
and looked
time?
at him, and then like there's a slow pan into his face, and like tears are coming out of his eyes. Just he looks kind of stoic, but tears are coming out.
Yeah, it was like one tear, I think, too. That
Yeah,
was
one
perfectly
tear.
like scrolled right down his face.
Just he was just sad at the the awful circumstance of the poor man. I don't know.
That I don't believe.
Yeah, that sounds like bullshit to me.
Fair enough.
I think they have to,
I don't believe.
like in The Shape of Water, they have to keep him in salt water, and he's very sensitive, and it was misty in the air, and he got some in his eye, and it made his eye water. Something like that.
Yeah, he's
Fair enough.
probably just, Well, you see, Denny, in movies, right? They make people cry.
Yes.
to kinda-
So,
yeah.
since John, you're not going to humor me in why some of these parts are weird, I'm going to talk directly to TC. TC, do you remember the part where
being left out now.
where
well, you see, John, on
20
podcasts, you have to let Jenny talk so that you
Sorry, well, he's in charge.
well, once you guys start bringing content to the table, then this is what you're stuck with. So only blame yourself. TC,
Ah,
What up?
what did you get from the scene? And John, you obviously answer when they bring
not
him
an
in.
answer now.
They bring,
Not being talked to.
I feel special now. Whee! When he has that whole staged conversation with Mr. or Dr. Treves with the other doctor that's kind of saying yes or no to whether or not he can stay or whatever the fuck that scene was about.
Mhm.
And he called him out on it because he figured out it was all canned or whatever, like they had practiced it. But then he starts reciting something random and he trusts Dr. Treves that he didn't teach him that other shit.
Well, it was too involved because they didn't have a day to do it. They only had a day to do that, and so
I did not teach him the rest. That part you're saying,
That could,
right?
yeah, that could have
Yeah,
easily
this
been a part
whole-
of the act.
Yeah, not within a day though, and also it's
Why
like,
not?
that's pretty remarkable.
So
to
what are we
remember that.
arguing the logic of the
Yeah.
doctor from
Yes. But the movie is like, this is
Okay.
what happens. And I'm like, wait a minute, I don't buy that. That wasn't nearly enough evidence to
You're
have.
like, wait, so the guy's
Oh.
smart enough to call him out on the fact that this was made up, but he's not smart enough to figure out that it might also be made up. That the
Yes.
other guy.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. What gives the what gives reasoning to the Elephant Man to buy in on the plan?
Because so if they did something like, if he's a level 6 intelligence, and if they play up that he's a level 4, but then they go to 6 when he's like, you guys planned it. And he's like, he's even smarter than level 4. He's level 6. But he's still level 6.
Oh.
He's not level 10. I don't know. Like, I just didn't buy it.
I get it. I mean, if you didn't buy it, then why is the doctor buying it? I mean, I
Yeah.
understand that, I guess, but you see Denny in movies.
You should
Careful,
say,
TC. He's not going to talk to you either. Careful.
all right, you guys are both muted. All right, Danny, here we go.
All
Here's
right,
some more questions.
Denny. So, Denny, what did you think about the part?
Oh, I thought I was stupid. Yeah, me too.
Well,
that's
it's funny.
a good point,
It's
Denny.
funny you mentioned that, Denny. I actually have some trivia on that.
Well, funny thing, you say that. I already know the trivia, but go ahead because it's your turn.
I just had a really fun. Anyways, oh shit! I didn't think you were gonna hate this movie this much, Denny.
Yeah, I tried really hard. The first half an hour, I was on the fence, but like I felt a little bit nauseous when this movie was over. Got to be honest. And I don't know if the nausea or just like being unpleasant while watching it led me to not enjoy the acting. I thought the acting was
Right.
pretty bad. I thought it was like if you had people who thought they were really good in high school act in a stage play, that's what Anthony Hopkins and John Hurt looked like to me pretty much the entire time.
How far along in the career for Anthony Hopkins was this?
That's a good question.
Well, he'd
1980.
done a lot of. I thought he did a lot of stage work though before then. I don't know. I'm just making that up too.
Well, then logically it would make sense that he might look like he's on a stage play.
Apparently, the director of Silence of the Lambs saw this, and then that was the reason he cast Anthony Hopkins.
See.
Ah.
Well, what does he know?
Why didn't he cast Elephant Man as the guy with the lotion in the basket?
Good question.
Seems like the right
shit in the basket.
Seems like a good one. Just put it in the basket. Fuck your face. Put it in the basket. Fuck your face. That's what I'd be saying to him.
He was in Hamlet,
Okay.
A Doll's
Stage
House,
play.
which is also a stage play.
Seems like a stage play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like, I mean, the Elephant Man's the first thing. Oh, Bridge Too Far. I've heard of that one. I think that
know
might be
if
on
I
the
know
top
that one.
250.
Really?
Uh-oh.
A Bridge Too Far. Doesn't that sound like a top 250 type of movie?
It
Oh,
does
totally.
seem. It absolutely does.
Yeah.
Yes. Thanks, IMDb users.
1977.
No, it's not. But it is a Richard Attenborough film. Mr. Attenborough.
Mr. Attenborough.
Did you like the scene when Doctor Treves' wife said to the Elephant Man that he was Romeo? And they both like cried, and then it faded out to sad music.
He's a Romeo.
I liked it.
You did? Why?
I'm
Can you please explain
soft
to
in
me?
that.
I remember
I
that.
I thought it was moving. I liked it.
And I'm not going to make fun of you, John. I just want to. Could you like expand on that? Why it wasn't? Because I thought it was overly cheesy and
Really?
Yeah. it's like he's not Romeo. He's literally not Romeo because Romeo is wanted by a woman romantically, and he's not. So he's just period,
Right.
not Romeo. So what she's saying is like stupid, kind of. I don't
No,
know.
but he also was. He began to act the part a bit, and that's kind of what she meant. Oh, you are playing Romeo here. I mean, he's able to actually be Romeo as far as an actor is concerned, and I think that.
But
was
that's not true
moving to
either.
her.
She's just like lying to him like a little kid, which kind of goes against the idea that he's like an intelligent man. Like if he's able to be catered to like a 8-year-old or whatever the hell, then it kind of,
Well,
I don't know.
She had come in there with very, very low expectations, apparently, and then was really moved by how eloquently he was able to speak and to read Shakespeare, which is not an easy thing to do. For
So they
many
fooled
individuals.
everyone that he was a level 4, and then he became a level 6. That's
Yeah,
what
and
happened.
Yes.
And they're like, "Wow, look at you, level
Yes.
6.
Wow, you look
Maybe
at you
a
level
7.
6. You're a Romeo. Look
That
at
really
you.
is moving to me."
You get an
Yeah,
extra
right.
cracker tonight after dinner time.
But that's right. Extra cracker. All right, Romeo. Look at you.
Yes. And does it not, so reading all this, John, and realizing that the Dr. Treves memoirs that this movie is based on, written by this guy, starring kind of this character, he plays himself up to be a nicer guy than he actually is, probably have more moral questions against himself than he actually did during the time.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, there's apparently another book that balances. Like there was a memoir of the Doctor, and there's a memoir of one of the guys that managed managed Joseph Merrick, and there's sort of like a balance between the two, basically, in the sense of like people are, they're both trying to present themselves in a good light, and they both remember things a certain way. You sort of have your own skewed way of thinking about things. So yeah, I think that alone is kind of interesting as well. It could have made for also an interesting story to like show different sides of things, instead of, I mean, I think the sort of like, again, it just, the movie tried so hard to just show like some of these evil people mistreating him that's where I thought that just seemed really sort of unrealistic and not necessary. Those were the more irritating points of the movie to me.
Yeah.
But
Do you guys hear about the Michael Jackson stuff with this guy? Not the movie, I guess, but it kind of is the movie.
What?
Have any idea that Michael Jackson is related to this movie in some way?
No.
No,
No
John.
idea.
John, did you know that?
No, but let's see. What would he be? How would he
Yes.
be related to
Take
it?
guesses.
What would he have done? What would Michael Jackson have done?
He fucked
in
an
this
elephant.
Film?
Oh, I was going to say something like, you're beautiful.
That's not where I was going.
It was wonderful.
But
He's beautiful.
Yeah. I have no idea. Maybe he helped finance it because he liked the story, but I don't know otherwise.
So some of this, you can kind of look up opposing theories, but at the very least, he put a skeleton of the Elephant Man in one of his music videos. He was seen at the, I guess it's like a hospital/museum where the bones are presented. And he would go there and stay with the bones for like hours at a time for like a period of his life. And there's a rumor that this one is not confirmed, but like he tried to buy the bones.
He's a
of the
weird
Elephant
guy,
Man.
huh?
Yeah.
He was a weird fella.
And apparently it's all because of that line in the movie where he says, I am not an animal. I am a human being.
I am a human being.
Well, you could see, I guess you can see how Jackson could find some parallels there in terms of especially being a performer, being somebody who's a spectacle.
When it was a terrible skin disease.
Yeah, well, there's that too.
True.
Certainly, there's a
I guess
lot
I
of
didn't
thought
think about it
his
like that.
physical appearance, all of that.
Except
I'm
for
over there
turning
like-
into a
I'm
monstrosity, turned into like
I'm over there like fucking assholes. Oh, fucking weirdo. Look at this weirdo, dude. He's going for the bones. What's wrong with him? He might have a skin disease too. He's, maybe feels a little out of place. Oh, never mind. Oh, right.
But it's okay
Forgot
because he
about
did
that.
weird shit with kids, so you can make fun of him. It's fine.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair
Allegedly.
game. Allegedly. Yeah. Allegedly, of course. There's a scene where the Elephant Man went back to the circus and he like fainted or something. He like fell over and one of the spectators spat on him.
Oof.
But
Did
was
he?
looking
I
at-
didn't notice that.
He was like looking at the trainer or the the wrangler. I don't know what the
Oh,
hell
I
you
think
call
he
him.
spat. He didn't necessarily spit on the Elephant Man himself, but spat on the ground, being like, "Your exhibit is crap, sir."
Is that what that
I
was?
Spit on your exhibit. That's what I.
It's
sort
like
of
I
thought
was
it
entertained,
It
but
like,
then he fainted and it sucks now. Spit.
yes,
I
was
spit
not,
on him,
I spit on not him
What a
necessarily, but your whole exhibit, sir.
sir.
You should change the
Jesus.
sign now to Elephant Man laying down with a wet spot on the back of his head. Okay.
Sure.
I just thought that was a weird insert shot and totally unnecessary and confusing.
Yeah, fair enough.
Agreed.
Did you find that line, John, powerful? That I'm focusing this on John because he seems more positive, but I am not an animal.
Oh, I'm being talked to again, am I?
Yes, it is your turn, John. We do
It's
Terrence's
your
turn.
turn, good
I-
sir.
yeah,
Do not
just
make
say
me
makes-
spit on you.
No, I just wanted
Don't
to say it
fuck
makes
it
me
up,
feel
John.
good to be recognized again. That's all. I was in the dark. Don't leave me in the dark. I think that line loses. Lost a lot of. I mean, because it's such a well-known line. So I've heard Robin Williams had a part of one of his comic bits was he had his penis as a character, and this penis said, "I'm not an animal. I am a sexual organ."
And that's all you can remember.
So that line, yeah. So that
Yeah.
kind of ruins it.
You thought
for
of
me, I
Robin
think.
Williams as a penis when that scene happened.
No, Robin Williams' penis. Actually, he's talking about his. He's not saying he.
But his penis can
Well,
talk
yeah.
in this scenario? How does it work?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
how. It works.
Okay. Different voice than Robin Williams.
Remember the
Yes.
Seinfeld thing?
Where? Oh, yeah. Well, but they turn
Yeah.
into their penises.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I picture.
That's
Like,
what I
they
was
dressed up.
picturing.
They
Yeah, but
dressed
John's
up.
saying
Yeah.
the penis is the same size and has a different voice and talks.
Yeah, well,
Is that right, John?
Right.
Get to the bottom of this here. All right, good.
we'll get to the bottom of this.
The ending. Did you guys take away that he was killing himself at the end?
I don't know if he was killing himself. So he had a heart condition,
Which he knew about.
He did know about, right?
He did, I think, yeah.
So he might have known that his days were numbered, but also one idea was that he was just trying to sleep like a normal person, knowing it had a risk for him. And it's actually, there's some possibility that's actually how he died, and that he actually had tried, because he always wanted to sleep like a normal person sleeps, but that it was risky for him. And that's what may have happened, is that he was like, I'm going to take the risk. It's worth it for me. I'm having a good day. It's not a bad way to go out. I don't know. That was just kind of the way I was thinking of it.
That'd be nice, but I don't know. In the movie, the way it's portrayed is that he like lays down, breathes once, and then is flying through space, right? That's the that wouldn't you like automatically, I don't know, wouldn't you automatically struggle if you were choking to death, if you were like unable to breathe? You wouldn't
That's
just
a
lay
fair
there.
point. Yeah. Well, but maybe it's also possible once you get in that position for him with his deformities, it might be hard for him to get up.
I think that's what
So-
happened in real life because
Yeah.
there's conflicting information on how he actually died. The official coroner's report is that he kind of, what John said, like choked in his sleep. But apparently Dr. Treves did the autopsy and concluded that, and I don't know how this wasn't on the official report, but he concluded that his neck snapped. So he could have just been sitting on his bed. It was the middle of the day when he died. He was alive. The maid came in and like brought him lunch. He was laying down. He could have like been getting up from the bed. His head was fucking heavy and his bones were really weak. It could have just been like getting up normally and then his head
Right.
snapped and then he like fell back and then choked to death because his fucking neck broke because
Damn.
his head was huge.
Yeah, fair enough.
And they
yeah.
found his body in a position of not rest, like he was struggling trying to get up.
Ugh.
So it wasn't like he didn't really kill himself in real life. And I thought it was fucking stupid how they made it seem like today is a good day to die. Now it's time to go to space and talk to my mom in a fucking voiceover.
Well, that's Yeah.
That's Lynchy right there.
It's very Lynchy. I had one more question.
Okay.
The guy, the crazy security guard, when they were doing that weird freaking scene where they harassed him a lot, took the picture of his mother away, right? Like stuck it in his front pants.
Yeah.
Oh, did he take it? I didn't notice.
Yeah,
I
it was like the
remember
last thing he did. He like, whatever, it didn't show the mother, but I thought it was his mother's picture. He like took it off the counter next to the Elephant Man's bed and put it in the front of his pants and then left. That was like the last thing he did.
Weird.
that. Oh.
By the end, he had the picture back. And I wanted to ask like when he got the picture back because I didn't see it come back.
Oh, I didn't either. Nope.
Okay.
Right.
That was weird, I thought. But I got some trivia. You guys want to listen to some trivia? It's pretty good. I
Sure,
really
sure.
narrowed it
What's you got?
down.
What the hell?
I'll blast it out here.
Hey, I feel like I'm trying to be positive despite the way you're mistreating me.
I am. I'm trying to overplay
That's
it. I'm
why
playing a
he's
4,
mistreating you.
and I get a 6. That's what I'm trying to get.
That's what he's trying to get. He's trying to get the 6.
Yeah, gotta settle for the 6. A consistent 6 is a good way to
Be
live.
the 4. I mean, wait, what?
Mhm. Numbers?
Numbers.
Anyway.
Numbers. 7 to 8 hours to apply the makeup each day on John Hurt.
Ooh, that makes sense.
2 hours to remove. He would get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and he wouldn't start shooting until noon. And he would shoot for 10 hours. And then he would sit in the chair after 10 hours of shooting in that like heavy ass, sweaty fucking makeup for 2 hours.
Damn.
Holy cow.
And you figure like with that timeline, you're still on set at midnight and you got to be back on set at 5 a.m. Wherever the fuck you're sleeping, you're still only getting a maximum of like probably 4 hours each night.
Man.
Yeah.
That was like in the credits too. Like they had makeup design, and then they had makeup artist, but then they had makeup applied by, giving that person who actually applied the makeup credit.
Nice.
Because they had to work like 2 hours, like how many hours a day to take it on and put it off.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
call
I'm
that
gonna
out.
so I'm gonna add an addendum to that. He worked alternate days, so he got every other day off, which makes sense.
Oh, that does make sense.
Yeah. John, did you see who this movie was produced by?
I didn't notice none of the names stood up to me. So who was it?
Mel Brooks.
Mel
course.
Brooks.
Mel Brooks.
They took the farts
Brooks.
out.
You missed the name because they purposely didn't put his name anywhere on the official credits of this movie because they didn't want anyone going into it thinking it was going to be a comedy.
That is entirely reasonable.
Oh, wow.
And this was also David Lynch's first like feature film. The only like full length movie he did before this was Eraserhead, which was an independent movie and a fucking weird one. If you guys haven't seen it, have you seen that one?
I've seen it.
I don't remember.
I
Yeah.
liked it if I remember right. It's very
It
strange.
was pretty strange. But Mel Brooks saw Eraserhead, loved it, and David Lynch was working as like a roofer. You know, he wasn't going to be a director until Mel Brooks called him and was like, "Hey, you want to make The Elephant Man with like a budget and some actors?"
I don't know, man. It's not going to rain for like
Wow.
2 weeks and really get this roof done.
So
That's nice.
strangely, Mel Brooks is the reason why every single David Lynch movie exists except for Eraserhead.
Damn.
Yeah,
Good
did not
for
know
Mel
that.
Brooks.
Very strange.
Yeah.
The world is a weird place.
It is a weird place.
So this movie was the reason that the Academy Award category of Best Makeup was created. Before
Oh,
this,
shit.
they would kind of, if there was really good makeup, they would have like, they'd bring it in 1 year. Like for The Wizard of Oz, there was one. For Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, there was one. The Hunchback of Notre Dame. All pretty old movies. They'd bring it in, give it specially. But this year there wasn't
But like
one.
one-offs. It was just
Yeah.
a one-off.
It
Yeah,
wasn't
right.
like a large category. It's just like, wow, look at all that makeup. Good job. Here's an award.
And now this is a
Yep.
standard
Yeah, there
process
you go.
from
Yeah.
this one on.
And people got pissed off because they're like, dude, that makeup deserved an award. And it
Yeah.
didn't get
No
one
kidding, it did.
specifically. And I think the reason they got more mad than they would have was this movie got nominated for 8 Oscars and didn't win any. And people were like,
Damn.
what the fuck? Give it at least one for the makeup. Come on.
Yeah.
So that's cool now that exists because that's a pretty big item for movies. I mean, especially now with all the fantasy shit and the sci-fi. And next up, the stunt doubles, right? That's like the what people are petitioning for now.
Oh, is it? That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Mhm.
I mean, they're fucking crazy.
Yeah, there's like
yeah.
people are endangering their lives and even like the coordinators and shit. It's pretty
And they
Good
get
stuff.
no fucking love.
no, they don't. Except for in special features for like Mad
Or, like,
Max and shit like
Being
that.
on set, like everyone obviously respects them on set, but
Yeah. Trust them.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it.
sure is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nothing else about like the making of the film or anything. Wow.
No, not really. The special features were all about the actual Elephant Man. Not so much about the making of the movie. David Lynch notoriously doesn't talk about his movies, so I'm not surprised. One of like the biggest things, I mean, in Eraserhead, there's like a cow fetus baby thing that he still won't tell how they made it, and it looks it looks real, or like, you know, it looks
might be.
Yeah, people think it could be like an actual cow fetus with like makeup on it to make it look strange, but he won't.
Yeah,
I mean, it probably is something that he shouldn't have been able to do, and he doesn't want to tell anybody, so he doesn't get in trouble.
Right.
But yeah, he doesn't do commentaries or anything like that. So
no, it's why waste the time when you're coming up with more slow-mo.
All right, I want to take this picture and I want to pan into the eyes and then pan down to the mouth and then slow zoom out and fade into something else. Here we go.
It's going to take me 2 days to do this. They're like, okay, we'll see you in 2 days.
Did you guys like the music at all? It was David Lynch doing the music too.
I didn't notice the music that much. I mean, it sort of like got kind of weepy violence.
What about the intro music though?
I don't remember.
The intro music was like...
Oh, right, sorry.
Yeah, just like that.
Yeah.
How'd that go again?
Yeah,
Can
what
you
was
do
that?
I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
It was a heartbeat and then a baby crying. It's pretty much
I know,
what it
that
was.
was the
Just like
elephant,
that.
the elephant
Rape.
attack.
The
right?
elephant
Yes.
rape scene, yes. Good movie. Would you put it in the top? Any more thoughts, guys, before the top 250 question?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. I didn't hate it as much as you did, but
You didn't hate it at
I
all, it
probably
sounded
wouldn't.
like, which is good.
yeah. But I don't think I'd go top 2. I mean, again, this guy's life and story is really interesting and worth telling. You know, it just
Agreed, and someone should tell it
yeah.
someday.
Yes. So there's that.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe the play's better. I don't know.
It's
But,
apparently
anyway.
even further from the truth because it wasn't based on like any real thing at all, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of singing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you think there was like elephant noises? He made like toot toot noises or something. But John, you liked it the most. Would you put it in the top 250?
No.
No. So that automatically means me and TC, unless TC wants to change his
No.
mind.
I'm not putting it in the top 250.
TC, we're in
Yeah.
for a treat next week.
What is it?
We are going to watch the third oldest movie on the list.
Oh, God.
Have you ever seen a Buster Keaton movie?
I don't know.
I don't think I have. John, have you?
No.
Nope. We're going to watch one. It's called The General, 1926.
Ah.
Directed by Clyde Bruckman and Buster Keaton himself.
I think it's a short one though, right?
It's an hour and 7 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
You don't say. Which apparently
Oh.
is extremely long for movies back then.
Okay. 67 minutes. I'll bite.
Not like you have a choice, but yeah.
No, but you know,
Yeah.
it'll be better. It'll be easy. If I fall asleep halfway, I can quickly finish that off before we need to record.
That's
Yeah.
true. The synopsis is when Union spies steal an engineer's beloved locomotive, he pursues it single-handedly and straight through enemy lines.
Train thievery.
That
Very
sounds pretty
common
good.
in the 20s. Not.
No, it was,
Jesus.
wasn't it? That's not.
I don't know. Oh, you ever steal a locomotive? Oh, yeah. I'm on my third one. It's 1919. What do you mean? All
All you have to do is climb up the back, kick the guy in the front in the mouth, and then you don't have to steer it. It just keeps going. You're fine.
Straight. Just straight, you know? Stop and go thing, you know? It's not too hard.
It's actually just go. There's no stop on this bad boy.
Okay. Running into the wall. Fuck it. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
All right.
Elephant Man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was going to ask one of you to do I think I asked one of you to do this recently. Anyone want to do like this? I don't know what you call them. The little notes, the ats.
A little notes at the end. Sure. Go to our website, www.mission250filmcast.com, right?
That's
Don't
correct.
even know our website.
Yep.
Hey, all right.
I'll make a ding noise
Follow
when you
us
get it
on
correct.
Twitter.
Ding, ding, ding,
All
ding,
right.
ding.
Follow us on Twitter. Rate us on iTunes or however you listen to us.
Dang.
And thanks for sticking with us.
Yeah. Dang.
Ding, ding.
Good job, John.
We'll see you next week.
Yes, we'll see you next
Or
week.
you'll hear us next week.
Yes.
Later.
Talk to you guys later.
All right, see you guys.
Stop 'em.